a lot of magazines that just sort of sit on my shelf, and while there's stuff coming out of Duchesne and Tourist today, I'd already decided to do this first. So before I get into the Duchesne Tourist stuff, let's talk about this magazine. You'll notice that my jersey matches the one being worn by a young up-and-coming goaltender named Marty Brodeur. And it's an interesting article in that this is only after his rookie season. Attending a hockey game at Montreal's fabled Forum was nothing new from Martin Brodeur. As a youngster, he tagged along with his father, Denis, the Canadiens team photographer, and received a close-up rink rat's view of dynamic Habs such as Patrick Roy, Claude Lemieux, and Stéphane Richer. But the night of December 8th, 1993 offered a different perspective for 20-year-old Brodeur. Instead of admiring Roy from the stands, Brodeur stood at the other end of the Forum rink. The goaltender battle he could only dream about a few years ago was now a reality, as Marty led the New Jersey Devils against Patrick's Canadiens. For Denis Brodeur, the night became an emotional tug-of-war between his job and his desire to cheer for his son. He's a photographer, so... Hollywood stories contain those kinds of plot lines, as well as the ending that Marty provided. With his shutterbug dad snapping pictures, the rookie netminder stopped 31 Montreal shots in a 4-2 win over the then-defending Stanley Cup champions. Devils coach Jacques Lemaire is the only person who didn't seem astonished by Martin's success that night. The secret to why he's doing so good is that he doesn't panic about anything, says Lemaire, who later that season did not hesitate to make the rookie his primary playoff goalie. He has confidence, he's poised. Before that game in Montreal, I asked him if he was nervous. He said, "No, why should I be nervous?" Certainly, collectors no longer feel nervous about pursuing Brodeur's cards. His Score 1991 rookie card saw a dramatic rise in popularity during the course of last season, when Marty posted a 27, 11, and 8 record and a 2.40 goals against average, second best in the league. And then they talk about which hockey cards he had that year. But while excitement about his future swirls around him, Brodeur remains calm, not surprising since he is the son of a goalie. Before he turned to f-stops, Denis worried about puck stops. He played between the pipes for the 1956 Canadian Olympic team and in the minors. But his father didn't push his son into the family profession. Actually, when I was younger, I was really good at forward, Marty recalls. Then in a flash, I was a goalie. Someone asked me to be a backup for one game, and I sort of liked it. Marty also was sort of good at it. Brodeur caught the attention of scouts as a 16-year-old playing for Montreal Bourassa. He then achieved star status after his first season of Major Junior with St. Hyacinthe of the Quebec League by posting a 4.01 goals against average. Most respectable in the league not known for its defensive play. That's understating it. The QMJHL in the 80s and 90s. Holy crap. Yeah, you could score 150 points and still not be an NHL prospect. The Devils... That summer, the Devils selected him with the 20th overall pick in the 1990 draft. The bright teenager almost opted to play college hockey in the U.S., despite a then limited grasp of English, instead of a more traditional junior route. It was very close. I had 15 or 16 offers, all from the States. Instead, he remained with St. Hyacinthe, which pleased the Devils, who possess a reputation for not rushing their goaltenders to the NHL. They planned for Martin to complete his junior eligibility, which he did, with a brief taste of the NHL in 91-92 due to injuries on the parent club. Then got a couple seasons in the minors. Brodeur indeed progressed slowly and steadily until training camp in 1993. The Devils owned an established number one goalie in Chris Terreri, but had traded his partner of the previous few seasons, Craig Billington, to Ottawa for forward Mike Peluso and goalie Peter Sidorkiewicz. Ottawa wins that trade hands down. Just saying. Sidorkiewicz entered last fall expecting to back up Terreri, with Brodeur ticketed for a season in the American Hockey League in Albany. But a nagging shoulder injury kept Sidorkiewicz on the sidelines. Suddenly, a job was up for grabs between Brodeur and former University of Maine star Mike Dunham, another young goaltender prospect. Martin desperately wanted to take advantage of the opening. I'd been in the minors, he recalls. Going back would have been hard, but Sidorkiewicz was 31 and Chris was 29, so I figured it wasn't going to be if it wasn't going to be that season, it would be soon. So this is, goaltenders don't last forever. That's the idea. Players not playing as long and as late when they're star players back then as they do now. Brodeur didn't have to wait long. He outdueled Dunham, who eventually joined the U.S. Olympic team and began sharing starts with Terreri. So that's part of the reason I'm bringing this up, is because Mike Dunham went over and played for the U.S. Olympic team. This was before the NHL had ever gone to the Olympics, and it just wasn't really talked about. Brodeur became more than a mere backup. In fact, Terreri and Brodeur alternated starts for 23 games. Brodeur started off 3-0-0 before losing a 2-0 decision to Rouen and the Canadiens on October 26th at New Jersey. Yet, early season question marks surrounded the young goalie. Until his performance in the Montreal pressure cooker in December, Brodeur hadn't faced many crucial situations. Because of the neutral zone trap employed by the Devils, opponents rarely produced a high number of quality shots. As a result, Brodeur wasn't forced to steal points for his team, and quality opponents gave him trouble, like in October when Lemaire yanked him in a game against the New York Rangers. But Martin compiled impressive numbers. Besides his gaudy goals against average, he finished fourth in save percentage with .915. Near the end of the season, he was being mentioned with Michael Renberg, Alexei Yashin, and Jason Arnott as one of the game's best rookies. Lemaire helped Brodeur's cause by starting him in 13 of 20 games down the stretch. That also became an addition for the playoffs, and Martin passed with flying colors. Lemaire opted for the big, cool, stand-up goalie instead of the more acrobatic Terreri. Acrobatic meaning Terreri missed a lot of pucks. But he fell all over the ice doing it, so he looked really spectacular doing it. And I liked Terreri. I thought Terreri was a good backup. He was always okay as a starter, but not great. Brodeur inspired confidence in his teammates, shook off bad goals, and helped the Devils force a dramatic sudden death 7th game against the eventual champion Rangers. That game ended on a Stéphane Matteau goal off a scramble around the net. Afterward, a tearful Marty Brodeur... I keep wanting to say Marty and Martin. It comes out weird sounding. A tearful Brodeur stood in a dark hallway at Madison Square Garden and said softly, "I still don't know how it went in." June produced a much happier occasion for Brodeur when he won the Calder. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to win the Calder, and I did it. It's a good race this year. A lot of guys could have won it. A slew of young goalies have dazzled in their debuts, then flared out once shooters pick apart their weaknesses. Brodeur knows the upcoming season will be tougher than his first, since more is expected of him. Yet Brodeur is so sound technically and so adept at using his stick to cut down passes and knock away loose pucks that a prolonged slump seems unlikely. He plans to keep losses to a minimum. Another thing collectors hope Brodeur never loses is his refreshing gee-whiz attitude about everything. Sometime it hits me, whoa, this is no dream, this is for real. It sure is, and his dad's got photos to prove it. So, if we look back to the 90-91 hockey cards they're talking about, I just want to find it, because I know it's in here. 90-91 score. So they're talking about his rookie card in here. It was worth $2.50. I don't know if is it in there? There. Yeah, whatever. It's it's worth $2.50. But the Lindros inserts. The funny thing is, there was the score sets, and then you had your factory set. So if you ordered the factory set, your Lindros rookie cards out of that were worth 10 if it's American, 18 if it's Canadian. Those cards now, you can get the whole set for like $10 on eBay. They'll sell you 3 or 4 of them for 20. So this was at the height of hockey card collecting, and it's kind of fun to look back at because that was Brodeur's rookie year. So and they do mention in there a lot of goalies flare out quickly. I intend to do a video on that as well. I just came across that this morning and thought it was rather interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And which goalie out of the current young crop could ever get anywhere near his wins total? That's an interesting conversation. Or is that just as unattainable as Gretzky's goals record? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you again soon.